Hello and welcome to part 2 of HalloweenPalooza. It's me, IndieAnnieJones, and this is crafting with me, getting ready for the spooky season. So I hope you've joined me, and if you missed part 1, go ahead and check it out in the link below. Let's get started. If you watched part 1 of this HalloweenPalooza, you'll know that I had a witchy theme, so I wanted to continue that theme. And what's more witchy than a little black cat? This is Guru, my quality control cat, and she'll be making sure that I make everything Halloween perfect just for you. I was going to make a witch's boot, and then I decided to make a witch's stocking. Wouldn't that be fun to wake up on Halloween morning and already have some treats ready for you on the mantelpiece? I think this would be really cute. So I am making my own little Halloween witch's stocking. All I'm using here is some wonderful fabric. It's this fleece fabric that I found at Joann's, and it was on clearance. And I live in Miami, so fleece is not going to be worn anytime soon, at least not until January. So here I'm just creating this little witch's boot using my Vevor sewing machine. I am so happy with this little sewing machine because, as I said, it's little but it's powerful. And it was just so easy to come together, create my design, and just sew it all together. I am really so excited to decorate this little witch's boot. But again, so much fun. And if you have fabric, you can probably find some fabric at Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree also, as well as you can make a little witch's boot out of burlap fabric as well. Once I'd sewed the right sides together, of course, I turned it inside out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff the heel and also the toe with a little bit of stuffing. You can use cotton balls or pillow stuffing just to keep them nice and, nice and filled. If not, it's just going to be empty down there, and you'll probably lose some candy down there in the toe and the heel. So now we get to decorating. This is such a fun part. I love these spiders and orange lace. I think it's so cute. Now, excuse us, we're having a cat break because they both were very interested in what I'm doing. So what I did here was just take some black lace. I didn't change the thread. I just wanted to keep crafting. I didn't want to change the thread, but obviously I'm going to cover that thread with some other ribbon. But I use this lace, and I'm going to gather the lace to make all those wonderful ruffles as you saw, and I'm going to cover the top of the lace with the ribbon. Now, I could have sewn the ribbon together with the lace. I didn't think of it. I just think of things as I go along, so I just keep crafting and crafting. And I love this ribbon. I found this on clearance at Hobby Lobby, so please remember to check out your clearance areas so you can find all of these wonderful things. I'm really trying to use my stash because, as you've seen, just expenses have gotten so high, and I want to make sure that I inspire you to create without having to spend extra money. Now here I'm just adding this trim to that boot. I guess the flap. I don't know how to call it, the overflap. And yeah, look how cute it looks. I am so happy. But wait, it's not enough. You got to add more. So here I'm just like closing up the two sides. Again, I could have sewed it, but I had already put away my sewing machine, and I just wanted to continue embellishing this cute little stocking. I hope you make something like this. Now I'm getting together some of this polka dot ribbon. Again, I just pulled one side. Since it's wired, it's easy to gather and make this little medallion. It's so easy, and just gluing the ends, and it just makes the perfect little medallion. Again, the most fun part of this project is the embellishments that you do at the end. Again, I made that little medallion, and I added a little set of buttons, black and orange buttons, which I already had in my stash. And these ribbons, I have to tell you, these are the ribbons that I bought last year, I don't know, during one of their big clearance sales. And just to add a little more color, I'm adding this orange and black polka dot ribbon just to add a little more trim. This is such a great way to use all the extra trim that you might have around in your drawers. It could be small amounts of ribbon that you have that are orange and black, and you can style it any way you like. And it would be so much fun to make one for each of your family members and just add another tradition. I think it's cool just to have a cute way to start your Halloween day. Now, because this little boot had such a Victorian look to it, I thought it would be a great idea to add some lacing. And I think it just adds another little feminine touch and make it so, so cute and really so vintage and Victorian looking. Again, I hope you try this out. I had so much fun. And as you can see, Kuru had a lot of fun watching me with the ribbon. Every so often she would pull the ribbon away from me, but we got it under control in the end. Lastly, I had some leftover yarn from my my little doll witch that I created in HalloweenPalooza Part 1, so please check that out. And I thought it would just add another whimsical touch to this cute little boot. I hope you try this out for yourself. A little witch boot stocking is perfect for Halloween. This next project is a perfect holiday flip because you can use it for fall and you can use it for Halloween. I'm using this sign and I'm going to take my molds and some air dry clay and create a really nice witchy sign. And of course there is Kuru to make sure that everything is Halloween spooky perfect according to Black Cat restrictions and requirements. So here I'm just adding a bit of embellishment to this sign by adding this trim. It's perfect. I want to make it into a nice vintage looking sign, something that you would find in Salem perhaps. So all I'm doing is adding this the trim, the air dry clay, and I'm using Mod Podge to glue it down to the sign itself. Of course, I forgot to record myself painting this wonderful project, but I used folk art paint from Plaid, the family of products, and now I am using my little Cricut Joy from my friend Pam to create my signed lettering. And to make sure that I do it just right, there is Luna. Of course, Luna is here again to make sure that I make my Salem Broom Company sign perfect. Now, I have to tell you, there was a mishap. There's a bit of mistake, but it all worked out in the end. It all worked out in the end, and we'll see if you can tell what happened. Here I am just putting all of that lettering down, and as you can see here, the tape that you're supposed to use to put down your sign, your lettering, yeah, it ripped off all the paint. Just ripped it all off. Look at it there. Yeah, look at all that paint just coming off. Now, I don't think it's part of the paint's problem. I think it's because it was MDF. I should have sealed the MDF first, maybe with Mod Podge, and that would have helped. But yeah, it was, oh my goodness, what a mess. And little pieces weren't like, it was just awful. Just awful. So here I am just ripping all the paint off with the tape. But you know what? I said, let's go with it. I like the look. It looked like weathered wood, so I'm just going with it. And now I added an established date and also a little slogan called "Come Fly With Us." I thought it was cute. And there you have it. I think it came out pretty well. And then what I'm using here is some wax, also from folk art, and I added a little, I tinted the wax just to give it more age. I didn't like that the letters were so white, so I'm just trying to age the letters as well as the sign itself. And I think Kuru really liked the Salem Broom Company sign. I think it's perfect for Halloween decor. Now it's only fitting that a black cat would supervise the creation of a handmade broom. You'll see that Kuru is really very focused on this. Somehow I feel like she's been doing this before. I don't know. What do you think? She's telling me here like, okay, you got to chop down the wood a little more. She's selecting all the items that I'm going to place in the broom. She would not step away while I was creating this broom. So what I'm doing here is just using some items, some florals that I found at Hobby Lobby as well as Dollar Tree. As you can see, many of these are at Dollar Tree. The main part that you can see there in the middle that has like hay or straw coming out of it, that one was from Hobby Lobby that I got on clearance last year. I'm using floral tape to gather all of these stems together to make it easier for me to add it to the broomstick. And I mean, it's tiring making a broom for a little black magical cat, so she decided to take a nap right there in the middle of my craft table. Does this happen to you? Yes, and she has all those little styrofoam balls all over her beautiful black fur, but it was cute having her beside me as I created a broom. I almost felt like I was an actual little witch creating my broom for a magical Halloween flight. Now, once I've attached this with the floral tape, I added some of this wire twine to make sure that it was very nicely secured to my broomstick. And now I'll show you at the end how it looks on my beautiful sign. Last but not least, let's see how I made this magical book truly create magic of its own. As I place this wonderful potion bottle on the book itself, you'll see, dun, da, 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 look at that. How can you create this at home? Well, it's very easy, and this was not my idea. I was inspired by Wicked Makers. If you've never visited Wicked Makers, I'll have a link below. It's a wonderful couple of, a wife and husband that create these wonderful Halloween ideas, and this was just one idea I couldn't pass up. So I bought the items that they suggested on Amazon, and I'll have that linked down below. As you can see, when I open up this book, there's a little motor there, and you can see how I have this little square cut out, and there's only tissue between the top of the book and the inside of the book. It's not cardboard, so that there will be a nice connection. Now I'm taking these small little magnets that I bought on Amazon as well. I'm creating a base of glue, of hot glue, placing the magnet very carefully in there. And the reason I'm doing this is that we have to protect the glass from getting slammed into by the magnets, as you can imagine, and also to stabilize the swirling effect. So again, now I'm making another base and adding the magnets so that it's enclosed within the hot glue, but still the magnet ability is there. Here's the little motor. Now, I was going to go through all the steps of putting the little motor together, but each motor has a different way of working. So again, my cat, she is an engineer. She's magical, and she's also an engineer. So she was making sure that I was doing everything just right. And I have to tell you, the hardest part of this project is just putting everything together, is, stabilizing that little motor. There you can see how it works, and you can see the little magnet that I put at the top of that motor. Now, it's a very special magic potion using glycerin and water and food coloring. This is how I started it. I am going to create that magical potion. It's so easy. You can see I have the magnet in there already, and I used some mica powder, and you can find mica powder again at any store. You can also use the color shift effects. I used a little bit of that as well, and that's from Folk Art. But you can see how magical that potion looks just as it is. Now I'm adding our little magnet that we created, just dropping it in there. And you can see I'm trying to test it out to see if it works. Now, the problem I said before was just stabilizing that little motor, and also making sure that the book didn't hamper the rotating little panel that I have at the top. And I had to adjust it several times, many times, but it's so worthwhile. So give yourself some grace and realize that, it's testing things. Now, I had to call in Guru. She's my engineer, and she overlooked everything and told me how everything was wrong, and the centrifugal force and all of this stuff. And she told me how to really set this up properly, how to brace the little motor, and to get the wires out of the way so it doesn't impede the motor from working. And now here's the reveal. There's your potion. And that's how it works with the magnet. So I suggest you try this out for yourself, and I'm sure you will surprise so many of your friends with this beautiful craft. Thanks again for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe, and come back for more spooky fun. As I always say, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure. See you soon.